Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Having emails from this guy.
Okay, so let's continue with the story, and we want to switch. By the way, stories or testimonials or any kind of stories should use the same structure. There are different people who will show you different storytelling ways and different waves and flooding and stuff like that. You know what? I like this structure and it works for me and it should work for you. Okay? It should be a way to organize your thoughts. How you want to relay the information to the one in front of you. The information is pain point, defining moment, happy outcome. That's it. That's it. Now, I want to talk about your own story. So, there will be a moment where you have to tell your own story. So, what makes your story different?
Are we going to conclude by doing the 8.1?
I will do it in a little bit. Just wanna share with you one thing. What will make your own story different? What will make your own story different are a few things. Number one is, why are you telling your own story? Why are you telling your own story?
Credibility, being the expert.
Bless you.
Thank you. One is credibility. What is the other one?
Relation, to relate with your audience.
No.
No?
No. The second one is to invite them to join.
Join what? The program? Or?
Your program, your transformational program.
How does your own story relate to that?
This is what we'll talk about. Remember, in section 8.1, in the paper in the page you have, it say, why are you telling a story? And Mike wants us to conclude with that, and I'm resisting. I have a resistance against what he wants, because I wanna keep it open for a little bit. So, if I wanna invite you to join my program, what should I tell you?
You have to take us through the stool, right?
Yeah, but inside the story, I have to tell you that there is a program. That's right.
Yeah, you have to.
And I have to tell you how to join, how to sign up for the contract, how to sign up for the letter of interest. That's right. So what else you want to do? You want to share the story for your personal story. 80% of the knowledge to 90% of the knowledge is with my cousin. That's right. My cousin Google knows everything. So why people are buying from us?
Because we're different than Google. We have more than Google. We have
What do we have more than Google?
experience and knowledge.
Yes. So the experience and application reduced to practice. So experience,
Reduce the practice.
application, and reduced to practice. Reduced to practice means, how do you apply it? Okay? So are people interested into buying an elevator? No. Nobody's interested to buy elevators. Because I can go on Alibaba Express and I can buy elevators from China. So why somebody would like to buy an elevator from somebody in Calgary? Or in Alberta? Convenience means what?
Customer service close by.
Okay,
It's here now.
it's here now. You see, this means convenient. Customer service, close by. It's here now. Somebody human I can talk to. That's right. Somebody can help me with any issues with installation. Somebody can customize to my own design. Somebody can review my design. So when you articulate whatever you can do, remember my cousin, because I can sell anything my cousin will do because it's my cousin, my family is right. So you don't come and say, I will teach you change management, or I will teach you, I can empower you to design a personalized plan for your retirement. It's no different than I will teach you how to design. It's not different than I will share with you the information about how you can design. There's no difference. But when you articulate it as I will empower you to design a personalized strategy, it's completely different. So remember that people would like to know the practice. And this is also relevant for the accounting, for the bookkeeping. Like how many somebody yesterday, the day before, on Thursday, we were standing in front of somebody. He was giving a presentation, and he said there are so many applications right now. You can look at them on your phone, where they take a an image of your receipts, and you can keep track of your receipts. So, I'm not interested in somebody to give me an online tool to track my receipts. What I'm interested in somebody take my images and create or apply a mechanism to make me reduce my taxes. That's right. So I am not selling an online tool to take photos. I am selling a system where part of it is the images of your receipts. So remember, people will buy these things. And when we had startup companies, we always play this game because there are big organizations can sell our products, similar products. You buy selling a camera, somebody else selling camera. So why do they have to buy from you? Because I'm eager, I can stand by my product, we have a guaranteed backup, and we are here, you can see us. You can call us, and if you Google my name, you can get my home address. So I have no way to disappear. So would you rather buying from somebody, and you can ask the question, would you rather buy from somebody that you can talk to when there are issues and he can solve it for you? Or would you rather to buy a lower cost product coming from China that you don't know who is selling it, and suddenly you have a problem? So what you do is you have to go to a second product, so the total cost of both will be more expensive than what you are buying from them. Do you agree on this positioning? Does it make sense to you guys? So why I am telling my story? I am telling my story for any or for all of these three. You can put 5, you can put 6, you can put 7. I maybe wants to tell my story because she wants to know that I'm a handsome looking and everybody else is going after me and I'm a good pick. It can be. So if you are clear in your mind why I am sharing the story, you will do what? You will have everything in the story. What's everything in the story? You will have all of these legs in the story, which will allow you to address why people want to listen to your story.
So does the pain point have to be mine? 'Cause
In your story, it's supposed to be yours. Because in your story, you have to show that you are the one who understands how to apply this. You are the one who has the experience to solve this problem.
Well, it's why I got into this is I heard so many other people's pain points and there wasn't any, buddy out there that they could go and,
So I wouldn't say I heard. I would say I experienced through my inmate or my close relation means what? Intimate. Sorry. Sorry.
yeah,
My mind stopped. That's why my mind stopped because I have this close relation with different people, and I found their struggle. So because they struggle, it's not I heard, because heard, feel, sense is not like experience. Okay. So you can position the pain point in this way. But you always remember that people wants to buy application reduced to practice and experience. Okay? You also want to, and when you talk about credibility, what's including in credibility is knowledge. And experience with different systems. Okay. So, do you agree that's why you wanna share your story? So, when can I share my story? Sometimes people will tell me, "Can you tell me why you do what you do?" In like one-on-one. So, if I wanna tell why I'm doing what I'm doing, I have to be careful that when I talk about my pain points, the pain point should match who? My ultimate customer, the guy in front of me who I want him to sign up. So I will not talk to him about a professor. I will talk to him about an engineer because he's an engineer. I will talk to him about a business owner, which is not a professor. I will talk to him about a CEO of a company or a CTO of a company. I will not talk about a professor because all of this I did in my life. Okay? I will pick up which one of those once I'm talking to him. So when I am at his level, I explain to him why I looked for the change, what the issues I suffered from and what make me change, and what's the outcome I received. This is one occasion which said, tell me what you do, or tell me what you do, or what make you do what you are doing, or why do I have to buy from you. The other location is if you have a seminar, and in section 7 out of this document, which you have this document already, right? This is not the first time for you to see these materials, right?
This is the book, the brand book?
Yes,
Yeah.
not the brand book. This is selling from the stage book. These pages are just print from there. You know. So
I don't know if I have.
when you talk about the problems you solved, you can talk about it. So I want to give you now the sheets for the story. And this is your own story.
I'm trying to sell your stuff. It's not going very well.
So inside your story, you wanna start from 9.3. What are the pain points of your stories? What is your pain point which makes you change? And if you want to practice them before you write, we can talk about them as well.
My pain points were the learning curves I had to go through.
Pain points are related to 4 quadrants: money, relationship, time, and process.
That statement was not.
This statement was not.
Okay.
So So if the pain point is I was looking to finish my projects on time, under budget, and I have to deal with those buggers who they bug me all the time and the nonsense people, and I thought it was there is a way. I looked around, I found a way, I applied a couple of tools, it worked out, and then I recommend to my superior to teach this particular course, and it was effective for the first 4 years till they came to a conclusion that this empower people to be more dangerous. I went through the whole thing, by the way, so was what I said. So when you talk about your story, your pain points, what are the personal pain points you had which push you to offer what you want to offer?
So even this is related to the audience that you are in front of.
You can. You can.
Yeah.
It has to overlap with them,
Yeah.
but it has to be personal pain points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what are the personal 9.3? What are the personal pain points of your own story? Samir, what are they?
Well, I'm thinking of one that really can be put into a defining moment and all that recently, is I wasn't able to manage a conversation with a colleague. That conversation became escalated, and so I didn't realize that it was heating up, or at least I was blind to it until too late, and the colleague had to really exit the conversation. It took me, the whole day was shot for me, and I hadn't realized that I was able to be so blind to my own conversations. I can see it from the outside, saying, "Okay, this is getting heated," and I can intervene. But in my own conversation, I couldn't see it. Then I practiced, something that Praveen and I have been practicing, an emotional intelligence product. That's gamification of that product. And I started exploring what had happened, and I pinpointed exactly where. Now I'm consciously aware of why that is happening. And now I can help others actually avoid or
You can go to my
diffuse
office.
the arguments before the arguments actually occur. That's the
And when you are consciously aware, what was the outcome?
well, when I'm consciously, and that's actually happened. When I was consciously aware, I stopped myself. I acknowledged that my need to be right in an argument was overshadowing my senses and my compassion.
When I'm consciously aware,
Is that the defining moment?
what this impact my relationship with the people?
Right.
So when I'm consciously aware of that, I was able to build a better relationship, a better communication skills, and manage people in a better way or a more effective way.
So that was essentially the thing.
Okay? Does this make sense? This will get you at why you do what you do. Why you do what you do.
It's interesting because I'm digging and digging and digging, and what I do is not because of pain points.
It must be a pain point in your body.
I'm looking for it. I'm really, really, really looking deep. But it's not about pain points. I'm looking back, trying to see where the pain points were for me. There were some difficult circumstances that I dealt with, but
don't see them as the main reason for being where I am.
So on Friday we will do more digging in that. We have a
Okay.
tool which will
There's
get.
gotta be something, but maybe it's just my attitude and my belief system.
It's not your belief system. It's you are focusing, like every time we ask you to tell a story, no matter what we start with the story, what we proceed, you end up telling the same story. Just I'm not offending you here, but
No, no,
like
no.
the 5-6 times when we ask you to, okay, so this is how we structure the story, this is how we do it, you come back with exactly the same story.
The same context of the story.
The same, your own context of the story. You never really followed the structure of the story, which we talk about.
Really?
Because you are very focused and you believe inside you that this is the jewel. This is what make it unique. My input is the opposite. Is there are tools. If I follow these tools and I end up to your conclusion is great, but if I use these tools, I will find alternative tools, alternative stories, which will be better related to the other people. So you will engage to others in a much easier way. We had so many individuals who came through our programs who we proved to them that these programs and what they were trying to do, they shouldn't do it. Full stop. And we saved them the effort and the money. So like, you cannot do that. You cannot go and sell what you want to sell because nobody will buy. Because you cannot reflect on others, why do they need to buy your product? And as much as they didn't like it, as much as they appreciate that I saved them the struggle in their life, and they end up now being very successful in whatever they do differently. So when you stand in front of somebody and you understand my cousin, which is not your cousin, it's only my cousin, okay? Yeah, you should laugh at it because it's the truth. When you understand my cousin location, who hold all the knowledge of people, what will make me buy from you? Because you used to be a project manager, or you used to be a site manager, or you used to be a manager. And the manager who had these issues, had these pain points. And the way you're dealing with these pain points, make you more effective in concluding the projects. So it will be optimal for people to come to call you for the other projects. That's it. Why you cannot dig it inside your past? This is what I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay.
But we'll find out. When you dig, you find treasure.
Yep. The second question will be for you is, what is your defining moment? What is a defining moment? So we know from Shamir's story that this defining moment is he found, what was the defining moment?
I found that it would be taxing on me and it ruined my whole day. And I couldn't get anything done because I was just kind of confused about that.
So it impacted his own personal productivity. So when I found this, I'm not productive, I'm not happy, I looked for answers.
Well, for me, it was not a personal pain point. It was looking for an opportunity. You know.
For you, I know the pain point, and I don't have your permission to share it, but you have a very strong pain point. And you have a very strong defining moment to do what you do. I know that.
I hate the corporate world and I knew that
No, you have something personal, which is I don't have your permission to share it. But I know I can talk to you offline because you have a very strong one. When you had all the plan and all the plan suddenly disappeared for a different reason, not another your control.
Divorce?
Yes.
Huh.
This is what will conquer, what will relate to everybody. Like when I have somebody with me, and we had all these kids, and we have all these plans, and suddenly somebody changed her mind. I'm talking about myself now. And you realize after the time passed is divorce is actually a very stupid decision, because decision by one, like one will impact 5 people. Like, this is ridiculous. Like when we want to go with the kids somewhere, like, oh, do you guys want to go to Disney? So you have 5 people decision to go to Disney, And somebody really drove her nuts. Someone drove her nuts, and she decided to divorce and kill the whole family. It's just one guy decision, not the 5 anymore. These stories are very powerful, which will engage people, especially in the personal development. And sometimes we talk about our own divorces, and I have people who never divorced because they never been married, but they talk about their own divorces. And sometimes we talk about our family-related divorces, like my sister, my whatever. And you'll be surprised, it's many of these people don't have sisters at all, you know. You'll be shocked. But when the story match what these people's status, what they have right now, and they're trying to prepare them for the unknowns, have plan B, have plan C. There are these guys here who passed away. There are these guys here who divorced. Why they struggle? So
Well, that would work.
this will have a higher impact. Believe me. Okay. Now, from the happy outcome, the next part I will remove the 3. I will keep the 3D. We are in 9.4. So 9.4. What's your own defining moment to do what you want, what you are doing? And 9.5. Make it 3D. I will leave it out for now. What are the happy outcome that you personally experience? So Claudia, in your way, in your place, it was amazing because they actually give you an opportunity to teach what you were teaching for 4 years. And when you retired, and from my experience, I developed a program where I was teaching there for 4 years, and I developed a step-by-step system which I like now to offer it to others outside this company because I'm retired.
You smart man.
I'm not smart man. I'm not smart man. What I'm saying is there are tools.
Yes, yes.
If you apply the tools will make your brain converge to something which will make sense. So the tool says the following, 9.6. What are the happy outcomes of your own personal story? The last 2 lines of the tool, it said, and from my experience, I developed a system. Or from my experience, I achieved 1, 2, 3. And I developed a step-by-step system to offer to others to benefit from that. So the personal story will have 2 extra legs in the stool. One is I achieved, I explored every single alternative, and then I developed a system. When you tell somebody I developed a system, or I developed a program, or I developed a product, it means what? It means you are potentially selling them this system, selling them this product. Does this make sense?
What are the other ones you said?
They are here. There is 2.
Oh yeah. So, but so I.
The additional legs are the last 2 lines in 9.6. And from my experience, I explored all systems and I developed a step-by-step system too. And you talk about the impact of your system.
Well, yeah, well, I don't have developed my own program. It's a program that I'm teaching. So
I understand, but you developed the relationship to be able to teach this program. So you don't use the rules like I developed. You may want to say, when I found the value, I bought on myself to go to spread and to be certified in this program to be able to teach it to others. It's very relevant.
yeah.
So these are all my own rules. So this is my own rules. Just know the rules and convey message similar. When I know you had the same pain point, when I know you're able to overcome the pain point to happy outcome, when I know that you are expert in what you do because you explored all the programs, and you develop now a step-by-step program for me to use, what's the next step for me? Is to sign up to your program. So it doesn't have to do with smartness. People who are selling this stuff are the least smart people in the world, but they basically use the system. They use the system. I know, like Praveen, I know, like you have been using this system for so long, and you can map this. You can say, why did you use it? What make you use it? What are the happy outcome? And from your experience, what are you offering now? Does this make sense? So, Rob, do you wanna try?
No, because in terms of, well, the pain points, well, all of them, the pain points, the defining moments, and the happy outcome are all a stretch, because it's more of the pain points of life than it is around why an elevator company, for instance. Kind of the same where you had started with.
I disagree.
So do you know somebody who lives in an elevator?
I disagree. Because you had the solution, and the solution is created by your dad.
Right.
So out of expanding the mission of my dad,
Right.
I would continue doing what I'm doing.
Right, and that's why I say it's through the extension of somebody else that I bring in my personal story.
Yes,
So
but
that's
you
why I say
did.
it's a stretch.
So
to
what
do
make
that,
you
but
what make you develop an elevator company? Away from you need the money and you need to find work. Okay, away from that. What make you you start and initiate an elevator company? Because your dad has 3 different innovations. So why is the elevator company in particular? Why is the elevators?
Well, because the elevator, I could wrap my head around what it does and how it would work and how it would benefit society.
Okay.
That's one of the whys.
Okay, so what are the other whys? When people find out why you do what you do, like for me, I always say like my IQ is a really high IQ compared to average surrounding people around me. So when I use my IQ to simplify the big concepts and make it simple for people to use, it gives me personal fulfillment. As a professor for 22 years, 25 years, I like to reflect and teach people. This is what's my fulfillment. And I'm very effective in doing it. So this is what keeps me doing what I'm doing. And this is what keeps people engaged with me and they want to come to see me in action. So this is where it gets into this question, is like why you do what you do. You must be able to answer it. And as I said, like this skeleton or this template, it's relevant to somebody selling information product.
So for me, I thought this was a perfect storm. I don't know if this belongs here, but I have a background in corporate training. My first round of education was in community recreation, and we were always looking at lifestyle activities, and I thought this is a good blend of that.
Yep. The ultimate question for you is, as you see, this here has 6 parts. So this story has 6 parts, or this 8, but let's call it 6 for now, okay? So it has part number 1, why are you telling the story? Number 2, who is in the story? Number 3, the pain point. Number 4, number 5, to make it 3D, and number 6 is to have the happy outcome. Okay? If you segment or slice or separate the story on this framework, so this is the framework of the story. So would you mind, or do you allow me to share with you my personal story? People will say yes. So we are done with why. Or would you mind sharing you my personal story to tell you why I do what I do? So we are done with why. Okay? The question for you is, where do you want to use this knowledge? These statements, which I was looking for lifestyles, I had this psychology, I have this society, I have this. Which segment of this you want to use it? If you use it in the pain point, there is a danger. Because you want to be like them. I cannot tell you my pain point is I had a PhD and I couldn't find what to do. Because you don't have a PhD. And if I say I have a PhD in computer engineering, not everybody have a PhD in computer engineering, right? So you have to be careful. When I have the defining moment, or you can use it here, I developed a system which inspired or which include all my knowledge of 20 some years or 30 some years in studying lifestyle psychology, whatever you said. So when you stand in front of someone, your brain must be working to figure out which part of these 7 or like 8 elements, because here's 7 and here's 8, which part of these 8 elements should I include these particular sentences? I can include in them a defining moment. I had this incident happen, I sat on the kitchen table, I talked to myself, okay, how somebody has this own lifestyle experience and having so, and cannot find a solution. So I was digging for a solution. So, do you understand what I'm saying? So the way I operate is, this is our frameworks. Which slice you want to use the information at? And I know I am from kinesthetic learning, I'm visual, very visual. But I hope with the audible people they can relate. Which segment you can use this information? Okay?
So what is your 7 and 8?
My 7 and 8 are the last 2 lines of section 9.6.
So what is, I don't understand what to put in the first blank. From my experience, I succeeded.
I explored all alternative techniques, or I surveyed whatever the market has, or I achieved. I read so many books. Some people will say that. I read all kinds of books on life, on transformational, or life coaching, or I read the top 10 books. It's a space where you can talk about how you are comparable to others. Useful? Is the tool useful, guys? Like, is the tool useful?
Mm-hmm.
If you have any comment on how we use the tool, let me know, because I strongly believe when people just put notes on paper, it will make sense. Any more questions or any more discussion on this topic? Rob, you have any?
No.
Okay. I want to go back to my open question, which is I don't want to answer. Is why are we telling us a story? So our personal story is great. We want to tell us a story because we want to show them we are credible. How we show them we are credible? We talk about how many years you spend in lifestyles. That's right. What credibility you have? You may want to talk about your degrees. You may want to talk about your personal relation with Bruce Lipton or with this team. You may want to talk about how many companies I work for. You may want to talk about how many clients did you help, how many customers did you help. You are credible. Just whatever you want to put as credibility. But when I share a story about a client or a similar individual with similar, the story must have a different why. So one of the whys we talked about is I want to show them that there is a solution. So can I share with you the story of John and Jane when they had this letter from CRA and they have been on audit, and when they went back to their bookkeeping said they don't have the required record because they didn't use the right system. And when I met them through the BNI or whatever group, I offered them my help and they signed up for my service, and it took us months and a half to rework all of their paperwork. And we were able to come up with the required material for audit. So I'm telling this story to show what? There are other people selling stuff in-house who are not credible enough. That's right. Or not all bookkeeping services are similar. I can share a story about Otis Elevator, who they need to have so many mechanical service calls because they have hydraulic rooms. I can share with a business who had not been able to meet the timeline of building a tower or building whatever, to be able to send a message saying that I am better than the competitor. As we talk about our customers and our clients are ignorant, you must have one reason to tell a story. If you have two reasons for a story, what you do? You tell two stories. There is nothing better than having two short stories than one very long. People will just get confused. And I can share with you a personal experience with someone. I had this guy who will help you find your why. And he was selling workshops finding your why. And his story started when he used to be in Calgary and he had some issues with his parents. Then he went to New York and he was driving in the streets, and it wasn't that short. He was talking too much about this, how he's driving in New York, and then he went to the state and he went to other state. And after 20 minutes I stand up and I left because I got lost in the details. Okay. So I cannot tell you what's the end of his personal story. I didn't care. So a personal story, it was too long for me to be able to understand. And I go over places to evaluate speakers. So when your job is to evaluate speakers and you cannot even take him and leave, it's a big problem. Like you'll not be paid for the task. Okay, so it's just too much details. So there is nothing better than having two stories who are short enough. So each story must have its own why. Why are you telling the story?
When you're trying to do the 3D, then you don't put it in every detail, just enough to set the stage.
Yeah. And when you practice this enough, you will find out that you can always tailor the story based on the circumstances. And you can ask for permission to spend more time.
So to go back to something you said at the beginning, like if you're doing a webinar and it's just an online thing that people can click at any time, then can I tell you a story? Well, it's a rhetorical question.
A webinar, it's there is a sequence. You don't have this book. I will find it out for you and get you a copy, which is section 7 of this exact handout. Because here you have 8, you have 9, and I will give you 10. Okay? But in section 7, we talked about the sequence of a seminar. If you guys would like, I can share it with you briefly right now. I don't have the handout for it. I can share it with you just to remind you. If do you wanna? Okay. So before we leave this point, you must have why. Why are you sharing a story about somebody? Nothing wrong with saying, can I share with you about a story with someone who was really struggling with his life and how to apply law of attraction, or how to apply emotional intelligence to keep his life and his wife intact or engaged or inmates, right? Inmate means what? Means went to jail, right? Yeah, I love it,
Or
man.
you stayed at the same hotel, your inmates.
Sorry? Yeah, so okay, so when you share why the reason to tell the story, you basically work out the brain of your audience to follow the reasons for you to tell them the story. So just to step away a little bit from the story. So we go to so many places and they tell you, okay, can you give us a presentation of 2 minutes, 5 minutes about what you do? I belong to a school which say a selling presentation must follow a specific structure, and there are 4 structures which we know they are working for other people. And I will share with you one of the structures, which is the most effective structures, I believe. And the numbers show that this structure will work. So when somebody asks you to come to give a talk about what you do, is an opportunity for you to be able to sell them to sign. So what are the structures? The structures are frameworks, are rules, are sequence of pieces of information. If you stage them in this way or you go through this sequence, people will conquer better with your offer. Okay? So do we start with the title of the talk?
Do we?
Yeah. What's your thought? Do we start with the title of the talk?
No, it's using hook.
So why we shouldn't start with the title of the talk?
You're not getting involved, so you have a hook.
So because people usually know what's the talk about. Like if you want to talk about your business, they know. So I will not tell you I'm talking about my business, right? So what we found out is you can start with a hook. What is a hook means?
Capture their interest.
Yeah, so can you give us an example of a hook?
Are you asking me?
Yeah?
Oh,
Because you'll be surprised. You'll find out that these hooks are structured.
our structure.
There are structures for them. Yeah? So what are the hooks?
I dealt with so many difficult people in
No.
my past experience.
No.
No.
97% of Canadian business are small business, according to Statistics Canada. 2016. 97.4 to be exact. And these businesses, in 2013, we lost 4,000 business because the rate of deaths were higher than the rate of birth of this business. And the story attached to that, I can say it. A hook is something out of norm.
Out of what?
Norm.
Norm.
Yeah. It's not something you see every day. CRA claimed to audit 1.6 million business in 2016. Okay? So, the hook can be few things. The hook can be statistics. The hook can be a story. Like, it can be a story, if you like, if you are professional enough. Statistics, which is I like, because it's easy. Or it can be an act. Somebody will come in with this, this meditation, big copper rings. They use that for meditation. Don't know why, but they just like they are.
Like your chakra machine.
They are like steel. People use them for meditations, like big 2 round things.
Oh, you mean the bells?
Yeah.
Chimes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so people can come and just put them in front of the audience.
Or
And
singing bowls? Is that what you're thinking of?
One of these things, people can put them in front of the audience And when they put them in front of the audience will keep looking when they are using it. So there are so many formats for the hooks. At our stage, at our level, I like the statistics because I can look them up. And when I put statistics and I refer to the source of the statistics, it showed what? How many of you here lives in Canada? All of you. How many of you here see Statistics Canada or Stat Canada or StatCan on a regular basis to learn about business? Almost none. So if I come with Statistics Canada information, which is everybody should know it, it shows that I am what?
Educated.
Okay?
Knowledge.
That is why I personally like the statistics. Some people will come and say, one of the hooks we used in Japan at the time, if you go to Japanese hotels, you will find out they have this bidet in the toilet, which is a unique machine. We were not aware. 2002, nobody was aware of it in Canada. Especially a specific group of people who just, but average Canadian will not be aware of it. The knowledge was not there. So one of the hooks was a photo of this bidet and just discussion about what this machine is used for. And everybody has it in the room. But somebody brought it up with a huge hook. Everybody just, okay, Zach, this guy will talk about science, but he started with this particular machine. Yes, sir.
Would a hook be then, or could it be used as, when was the last time you had a wow factor in your show home? Is that
It can be a question. Thank you for
I
giving me.
guess that's kind of a question, I guess. Is what that is.
It can be a question. But I recommend to have it as statistics. Managing the crowd is a very hard. It's the hardest job of any speaker on the stage. How to manage the crowd.
I was thinking that with the act thing, if everybody's focused on that, and when you're going to use it, then they're not really listening or paying attention
You just need them to be giving their attention to you.
to the front of the room.
Yeah, so somebody sometimes will have the music and somebody will come and just make a sound. Everybody's looking at them. There are hooks on silent. There are speakers who will come and will just stand and keep an eye look. And people will be just eager. So all of these are valid hooks. However, the easiest way for starting individuals, and I classify myself as starting as well, is to use the statistics. It immediately shows that I'm expert. It creates my expertise right away. There are stuff which we shouldn't say. One of them, you shouldn't thank the host. You shouldn't affirm the obvious. So I shouldn't come today and say, guys, I shouldn't apologize. I shouldn't come and say, I'm sorry, I'm sick today. I shouldn't come and say, I'm sorry, we are shining outside and we sit in a room with no windows, because I will look like idiot. I shouldn't come and say, oh guys, you know what, I'm sick today and can you tell? Because I will look like idiot. So the red ones, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't thank the host. Oh, thank you. There is a place to thank the host, which will give you credibility. But you should say, oh, thank you, Karen, for introducing me. There is a place for this thank you. And this place will give you credibility. And you know where this place is? After your personal story. From my experience, I surveyed and I reviewed so many systems, and from my experience I developed a system which is ready to sell, and this is the reason for Karen. Thank you, Karen, for inviting me to talk to you guys. You see, this thank will flow like what? Like an endorsement from the host to invite you to talk to people. Did you thank the host or not? Oh, everybody will give a hand to Karen to invite me because she wants to share my wise to you guys. So when I learned these lessons, it was early time where I didn't have a use for it, and the guy passed away. But I did a favor for him, and he gave me this material and said it's very valuable. I didn't admire the material at the time, to be honest with you guys. But when I went around and I tried to figure out how people sell, we came up with this sequence. Like, this is one of the sequences which will sell. Now, what's about the hook? What's next to the hook? You should have an info 1, info 2, info 3. This information are information to show you how people are practicing and you are the expert in the field. So information 1 can be based on your pain point, what somebody has the pain point is doing this, right?
So the hook is why you're telling the story?
No, the hook is to grab attention, to
Where does that fit in all these steps?
this is all are one element. This all things here, which one you have? The power of story?
Yeah.
It will come here. You tell a story. This is the 8. This is section 8.
Oh.
And this is, if you have the old book, this is actually section 7 of the book. If you have the workbook for the, if you have this workbook for select from the stage, I believe you were in, this was section 7.
Okay.
So what is example of an information nuggets? What example of information nuggets?
My information nugget was I used the stats to just to tell people what the fastest 3 elevators in the world were.
Great. So the fastest 3 elevators in the world are information nuggets 1. How long will it take you to build an elevator in a home? Elevator 2. What doesn't make people search for elevators? It will be information 3. Can be like that. What's your information nuggets? How long a sales cycle? How many sales don't close? How many sales don't close on the same profitable? Okay? And to each one of these, you have to tell a story. To each one of the information nuggets, you should tell a story, because people will remember what? As a matter of fact, for the hook, you can back it up with a story. And then what you can do next is you can say the title of our presentation today, and then your personal story. So what's your personal story? Create here. If you come and tell me 3 information about the market which I'm not aware of, and you tell me stories about people who are experiencing the same issues, and then you give me the title, and then you tell me your personal story, it means what?
You know what you're talking about.
Okay? It means I'm the only one who can talk about this topic. Okay? How many of you you did not see this for the first time, right? How many of you here see this for the first time? You didn't come here for the...
No, that was last year sometime. That was back in like October.
Okay.
Because I did my presentation in November. So.
Okay, just I'm gonna make sure. Okay, then after the personal story, you should say the agenda. Or what we'll talk about today. We'll talk about 3 topics, 1 to 3. And then you will have the topic of the discussion. What we learned today is you repeat the agenda. Do you like to know more? Yes, you give them your offer. And this is inside the booklet or the workbook for selling from the stage, the whole structure. Okay? So each one of these topics here, you will need a story. A story. And the last one, you most likely will not need a story for. So how many stories do you need here?
Lots of stories.
Six stories.
Short stories.
6 stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a
And a
personal story.
So 7.
7. A minimum.
How can you have a story around an agenda?
No, this is not the agenda. Then you have item 3. I don't want to talk about the items for now, but just you have item 3, item 2, item 1 under the agenda. After you finish this, you say here is the agenda of today, and then you start to talk about the first item of the agenda, second item, third item of the agenda. Denise, you did not. This is the first time for you to see this sequence?
Well, I think I heard it last year, but I didn't do anything about it.
Okay. I'm very careful how to get you step into it because I can show you the whole sequence and you'll be overwhelmed. It's too much. It takes 5 cycles. It takes 5 cycles to grow from this model to a professional model which can sell. And you must do the 5 cycles. You cannot skip a cycle. Because we connect from where? From our heart. So for me to be able to say this sequence from my heart, I have first to do what? To buy into it, to feel it, that's right. And that's why when people come and say, can you show us this in a couple of hours? Yeah, I can show you this in a couple of hours. The whole workshop is 6 hours. But after these 6 hours, you need to have 5 cycles, 5 versions. Each version has more data till you reach a level which this will be selling version. Because there is an optimization for the offer, there is an optimization for the stories. But if I give you the whole thing at once, you'll be overwhelmed. That's why we start, okay, this is the smallest version. It takes about 10 to 20 minutes. It can be 90 minutes too, by just expanding the stories. Okay? So when I stand and I present these topics, I don't care about what the topic is because I know you can give me any topic. Give me 7 minutes. I will go to my cousin, pick up statistics, pick up 3 information pieces. I know my titles, which will be the challenges of whatever. I don't use keys. The top 5 challenges, the top 3 challenges. That's it. Then what, why, and the challenges, and summary of what I share with you. Do you want to learn more? I have this offer. So if you remember this sequence, or you can visualize it in front of you, or you can memorize it, you can literally speak about any topic. You will not have fear. Okay? And any experienced individual or professional individual who's watching you, they know that you are investing in yourself, learning these techniques. Because these are very specific group of people are selling from the stages. And almost all of them, they know these models. So when somebody coming at a haphazard things, they will not, their peers will not admire them. They know they're still amateurs. So when somebody comes and say, oh yeah, thank you, so and so, I'm happy to be here with you guys. It's a nice day outside. Then what? What? The one who coached me here, he said, at the very beginning, you have to visualize the following. Your audience setting, open their skull, expose their brains, waiting for your information, for your wisdom. Your wisdom is not the room has no windows. Because I show that I'm silly. I'm stupid enough to pick up a room with no windows. I'm standing between you and the lunch or you and the coffee break. It's ridiculous. So all of these comments which we laugh at it are made in presentation which they don't sell. Just presentation for people to enjoy the talk. Okay? So the relevance or the rationale of the stories will come in cycle 3, 4, and 5. Because if I am here, let's just pick up your example. If I am here in a superintendent meeting, my stories has to start with what? With a superintendent character.
Wait, what?
If I'm a meeting of superintendent,
Yeah.
my stories, the 6 stories here, has to be related to what?
Superintendent.
Not to a manager, not to a CEO of a company. And if you are in the management level of the company, your stories has to be related to what? If you have the project management of different projects, if you have the VP engineering, if you have the VP finances of the company. So when we start and say you need 6 stories to start with, they are not 6. Because based on each one, remember we talk about solopreneur, entrepreneur, SME, small business, all of them are the same. But people don't identify themselves in this way. So you have to make it relevant to them. So Mike will come and say, so I have to have all the stories in this way. I can basically say Ali is a solopreneur. Ali is a small business owner. I say, yeah, you can classify the character Ali, whatever it is. You can classify Mike, whatever it is. But you have to have the story relevant to this particular class where people identify themselves into a class. Make sense?
It does, but as I start looking at the story, I really don't have to say how many people in here are business owners or how many people are solopreneurs. I know that my story is going to apply to all 5 of them, wherever they identify themselves with.
Yes, I agree. However, who is the main character articulation from you have to be careful, because if you use an entrepreneur, a small business owner will not connect with him.
Because if I'm making my point against proper bookkeeping, that's gonna apply to all of them across the board.
So you have to say it, you have to articulate it. That's my discussion is relevant to the 5 classes to small business, entrepreneur, whatever. And then you say, do you agree? Or can you relate? Type yes. I see lots of yeses. So this is the way to get them to buy into the conversion. Okay? Because they will disconnect. Okay? So if you come to me and say, I want to talk to Egyptians, I'm not relating. If you want to come and say, I want to talk to Egyptians in Canada, I am not connecting with you. But when you talk about, I want to talk to Canadians, Egyptians, I'm connecting because I'm a Canadian Egyptian. I immigrated here a long time ago and became Canadian, so I'm Canadian. So I classify myself as a Canadian Egyptian or Canadian from Egyptian heritage. So if you want to come to talk to Egyptians in Canada, I don't classify myself like that. Egyptians living in Canada, I am not this class. This is about myself. So you have to take me through one step further to make me draw this conclusion. So I say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm Egyptian living in Canada. I can be Canadian or not Canadian, doesn't matter, you know. I will listen now. So in classification, if you want to build engagement, you have to make sure they are ignorant. They cannot connect the dots. It's just one statement you have to say. Do you agree that solo entrepreneur means small business owner means? Somewhere in the beginning.
What if you have somebody who's a devil's advocate and say, no, I don't agree with that?
So because of the majority of you here guys agreed, we will continue with this principle. That's it. You are selling to 80% of the people in the room, not to everybody. When we say everybody, they are 80%. You'll always have, there are people who will not buy from you because it's you. That's it. You know what? Today, I don't want to talk to you. That's it. There is no reason. So we deal with 80% of the population. So when you say everybody, it does not mean everybody. It means 80% of the people around here. We have 100 people around the room, 80% of them will like me. The other 20 maybe like me or maybe not. It doesn't bother me. But if 60% don't like me, I have an issue. Maybe my language is not right, maybe my attitude is not right, maybe my look is not right, maybe I shouldn't be here. So when we say everybody, we focus on the 80% of the individuals who we are looking to convert, not 100% of the room. Yeah. Does this answer your question?
No. I don't feel that articulating those characters to that degree is relative to the way I would present to bookkeeping needs.
So apply what you feel,
Yeah.
and after you apply it, ask your audience, do they really connect with it or not?
But I know that bookkeeping applies to all of them.
We know that, but they don't know. I meet so many individuals who runs business and they don't keep receipts.
Right.
How many of them do you meet? How many individuals do you meet that don't have a logbook for their car? Why?
Found one.
But that doesn't mean that
Keep receipts though.
Yeah.
all of those 5 characters that you identified, each of them are going to relate to not keeping receipts.
No, no.
You don't think so?
No, I agree with you. I said no means I affirm what you said.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Like I agree with you. But if I want to put a presentation for small business owners, only small business owners will come to me, not entrepreneurs.
Right.
And the question why, although they are the same requirements.
So by the time I'm giving that talk, though, I've got a cross section of the SMEs, the solopreneurs. They're my audience. So now my target audience is filled.
So if you have the 5 classification in the room,
And bookkeeping is going to apply to him. It's not like where he's giving a different talk for a superintendent versus a worker.
I understand. But what I'm saying is, inside information 1, you may want to convert all of them to agree that they are one. They have the same pain point.
Okay.
Okay. So the way you use information 1, do you agree that every business required a bookkeeping or required tracking of receipts? How many of you here guys keep copy of your receipts? Okay? These kind of questions will help you converting them into one bucket.
Instead of 5 who are just going to say, well, that doesn't pertain to me. You
Yeah.
get them all to agree on that one,
Yep.
that you are all the same, and then
Yeah, because we run into this all the time. You come and say, I serve this group. Okay, but can you serve the other group? Yeah, they have the same pain. No, you are the one who says they have the same pain. They did not say they have the same pain. So it's up to you inside the information nuggets to show how this pain is cross sections among all of them. And that's why I said it takes 5 different level of sophistication, 5 cycles of the same framework to reach the optimal level. On Saturday, you should be able to do one like this for 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes each. When we used to run this, when Denise was around and we used to run this, people will stand here and will tell their stories and they will point which section they mean. Okay? Because if you can take the flow in this sequence, you will be able to achieve this effectiveness of communication. Okay? One more thing, when we count, if you notice here how I counted here, 3, 2, 1. I didn't count 1 to 3. So information nuggets is supposed to be also 3, 2, 1. Why I count 3 to 1, not 1 to 3? Why? Can you tell us why?
So I know when you're gonna be done.
I know when you cannot be done. If I'm on board, I will not be
wondering if it's 4, 5, 6,
Or
7,
9.
9 or 10.
So when you count in this way, reverse chronological order, people will know that you have one more to go, 2 more to go. So if I'm bored, I will just give your time. So it will help with the dynamic of the room. Okay?
So you mentioned 5 different cycles.
Yep.
So can you label cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle
This
4?
is cycle 1.
Hook is cycle 1.
This is cycle 1.
Okay.
Cycle 2, when you have the stories.
When what?
When you add the stories to it.
Ah.
Because if you practice without the stories, you understand the logic. The minute you start to say relevant story, we will be confused with the details.
So there's 5 cycles within.
Oh yeah,
all that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I believe, can I borrow this one? I believe in the last page we talk about these 5 cycles. Nope, not in this book. Not in this one. But there is another booklet which they talk about. I talk about these 5 cycles. So one of the cycles is how to make the stories relevant. One of the cycles is how to ask for permission. How to ask for permission. How to get them to affirm. Can you relate? Do you experience the same thing? Do you know somebody who has the same pain? This kind of agreement and relations is one of the cycles. And it's very important because the minute they agree on the same pain, the minute they are ready to buy from you.
You have some of those booklets?
Yeah, it's attached to one of the courses which we did.
Maybe I'll sell them to you.
It's attached to one of the to one of the videos we have attached to one course we had early. So I believe we have the same course in 2 weeks or so, or in 4 weeks. Because this is an advanced level. Remember, the program starts with who you are, which is your authority. What program product you want to offer. And we finish 45 days over that. This 45 days from now to 45 days is how you can articulate and how you can market your product. So one of the marketing techniques is what? Is presentations. That's right. One of the marketing technique was last time was how to make a web page or how to make a marketing brochure. So we are right now in the marketing. So this material should be coming in. I'm not sure when, but in 2 weeks or so, or whatever the schedule is. Today we start with the simplest one, the story. Can you cast the stories? When you ask why we use the stories, here is the sequence. Okay? Did I answer your question?
I think so.
Can I go back one step?
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to figure out if it's pain point or a defining moment. Like, for my divorce, was it a pain point or a defining moment when I thought, well, things have really got to change, I got to think outside the box now.
I believe it's a defining moment.
And my stroke was a defining moment then.
Passing through the stroke experience is a defining moment.
So what would be the pain point then?
What are the struggles you are trying to solve? So when you had the original plans, what you were solving, what you were looking for, how you spend the time, for how you bought this stuff in these places, and then you find out that the partner is not there. That's right.
The money?
And the money gone with that. So what make you buy in these places? What make you feel comfort with the money? And then the defining moment came in, and see all these things have been collapsing. So this is the defining moment for.
But that wasn't such a pain point because it was actually in a happy place at that time because you figured, okay, everything's just fine. And then something's...
Divorce is a pain point till you realize after 2 years you are in the right spot and everybody else went to the hell. key. Divorce is a pain point till you realize it's the best things ever happened to anybody, because you have a new beginning. But it takes time. Like when I sit with people who are working on this life coaching, you hear this story and they're like, a separation or divorce is a new start, and it's a better start because you have so many experience, so you can succeed in a very short period. You don't repeat your mistakes, and you move forward, right? But it takes time. So I have to stop here because I don't want to sound funny, but
Okay, but then for the stroke, it's a defining moment
how you want to use it.
that it means I've got to get off my duff and do the things I want to do.
Yeah. So it's a defining moment.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of the day, these templates is up to you to define it. Is you are the one who can label what you want to label, not me. As I always say, I am showing you a rule. Know the rule and break it. Like I know individuals I'm dealing with, they don't really stick to the 3 information. They always do 2. They feel more comfort in 2. They do something different here. I have no control, like you can. The funniest part is if I show each one of you this sequence and I ask each one individuals to come here and say his own presentation, you will be surprised that nobody will be able to relate to the sequence except those who understand and memorize the sequence. So when we sit as audience, we will see different presentations are completely different. The one who understands the structure was the one who, now he's talking in this area, now she's telling this. So it's amazing if you know the structure. With each one of us words and energy on the stage, the presentation will be different. Even for me, when I go in a different moment, it's the same slide, same everything. However, it doesn't show the same, and even the recording are not the same. One more thing before we go here. What about this presentation? Should you have it in a PowerPoint slide or not?
Alright.
What's the other thoughts in there?
I'm still confused. I know cycle 1 is the hook, cycle 2 is the story, cycle 3 is the title.
No. Cycle 2 is the story. Cycle 3 is how to tell better story and get customers.
Cycle 3 is what?
How to tell better stories and to get.
We haven't gone there yet.
No. We will not go there.
We will not go there.
No, we'll go there if you finish 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
So today
I don't wanna overwhelm you because this stuff are very overwhelming. It overwhelmed me early on.
So today we've only touched on info 1 and the personal story.
No, today we only touched it on right now on stories and your personal story only. What we spent for the last half an hour or so, or 20 minutes, is response to somebody asked, okay, so where do you use these stories?
How does it apply?
How does it apply? So here is how it does apply. There will be a complete session, 6-hour sessions on starting from here, and because you know the stories now, it will make it simple.
So the info numbers are they about pain points?
Do you want me to answer this?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be information. So information nuggets, like somebody did something like shawarma place is very good. There's a shawarma place beside us. 40% of people eat in shawarma places. Shawarma now became a common stream of food for Canadians. There are so many shawarmas. But if I want to use this information intelligently, I wouldn't say this information nuggets. I will say this as a pain point of what I am solving. So in the cycles 3 and 4, we have to cast information nuggets who deliver a pain point. And then we tell an example of somebody has the same pain point. Okay?
Deliver pain point and solution?
Because the solution comes here from the story. And in the story, What is the defining moment? How people joined up your program. That's right. It means what? It means as early as here, and this early is like within the first 2 to 5 minutes of your 20-minute presentation, you are telling people what? That there are customers whose their defining moment is to hire you to achieve results. This is what we call it seeding the offer. So in the first 2 to 5 minutes, if I have the hook with a story, and the story include somebody buying my service or defining moment to buy my service, it means what? I am seeding at this stage that I'm offering people at the end a service. Implicitly, not explicitly. When somebody will listen 6 times that somebody bought your service, and 1 time here in your personal story that you offer this service, what's missing now? What's missing? What's missing is they buy your service. That's right. So these structures, please don't get overwhelmed. But these are simple structures. Step by step, cycle by cycle, you'll be able to achieve it. Okay? Any more questions or discussions? So when we come back after the break, we will talk about these stories. Because these stories are different. We call these stories testimonials. And we will have a sheet on how we write testimonials as well. They are like stories, but they are crafted in a different way. Okay? And if you want to continue a little bit in this area, I can do as well. Like, we can finish quickly the testimonials, and if you want to talk more about how you can put this sequence, I can. I have no problem.
I'm just trying to adapt that to what I know. That's all. So, okay. I'm a process kind of guy.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this process and this sequence of engagement will get more people here to buy into your offer. It takes 6 hours to transform a presentation into this sequence. And then you can practice it. Okay? Any more questions? So do you want to have a break now for lunch? So how long do you have lunch break?
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.